Today I'm going to show you guys how to do something super cool. This is so exciting for me. We're at Camp Daniel Boone and we were given a couple of ingredients to make a dinner, and I'm going to take it to the next level, through the roof. So today we're going to be making jambalaya, and I'm going to be doing it the way that people from Louisiana would do it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start over here. I've got celery, onions, and bell pepper. This is known as the Trinity. And I'm going to prep this with my knife. We're going to start with the prep work. I'm going to show you the way to cut a bell pepper. Most people would dig around here and then pop this middle out with all the seeds in it, and I'm going to tell you that's not how people do it. You cut like this, and you just cut right down the side, and you come off the bottom, and now you've got a bell pepper slice there. You do it again. You got another one, and you go like this. And now you've got your bell pepper, and all this is garbage, and I've got a little plastic bag because we're camping. All of my garbage is going to go into one place. Now that I've got my bell pepper, let's slice it into bite-sized lengths, which I'm then going to dice. Take this, and I'm going to turn it all sideways and dice this up. These need to be bite-sized pieces. You don't want to have a piece of bell pepper that's too big going into some scouter's mouth. And when you cook, one of the rules is to make sure that everything is cooked and cut so that it's either mushy and goes down easy, or it's the exact same size as everything else. So that's how you do your bell pepper. Alright, so I just finished cutting up 2 bell peppers, and I love these green mats because it has a picture of a vegetable on it. I only cut vegetables on this, and it folds up like this, and I can take the whole thing and slide it right into this pot. All of it goes right in. Okay, and now we're on to some celery. You want to make sure that you go wash your celery first. Now I'm doing 2 batches all together here because I got to feed 22 kids. And the way that I do it is cut off the white. That goes in the bag. Just set that for there for now. Cut off the stems. So for every 1 bell pepper you want to put 3 celeries. I grabbed an extra one, that's fine. So now I've got these celeries. I'm going to slice them down the middle because remember, like I said, everything needs to be about the same exact mouth size, bite size. You want the same mouth feel with every bite. It does take a little prep work to do this. So you have to make sure you get up to camp, you know, an hour, maybe 2 hours early to make sure you have time to get everything cooked. But once it starts cooking, it all goes real fast. And you can put more celery in this if you need more filler. That's okay too. This doesn't have to be an all-day process. Everything doesn't have to be perfect, but it'd be nice if it was all done as closely as possible to the same. So you don't want any big pieces in there. You want them all to be the same. And that's that. Now all of my celery can go into the bucket as well. Now we're on to the onions. Now here's how I cut my onions. First I cut it in half, set it to the side, and I cut the top off. Okay. Then I cut it into quarters. And I peel it from here because I think it's easier. Alright, so I'm down to my last onion. So I got 2 bell peppers, 5 stalks of celery, and of course I've quartered and peeled these onions, and now I'm going to start cutting them. Now the fun thing about onions is you don't necessarily have to do a whole bunch of fancy stuff to them unless you want to make it super fine. So for these, like some people will go, oh, I gotta cut it sideways, like 2 things and then down 2, but all you really need to do is go down once. And you'll notice that I don't send the knife all the way down to the end, I just do it down most of the way and do it like this. And now you got all the onion, it should be all pretty close to the same size, but I'll show you a fun trick. If you wanted to make 2 cuts on it, check this out. Down, down, down. I can turn it on the other side and I can go down, down, and then when I chop these, guess what? Boom, 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 boom. All bite size, all same size. That's the important thing when cooking. It has to have the same mouthfeel every bit of the way through. Alright, I got all these onions done up. I'm putting all the vegetables in one container, and I'm going to mix them up randomly because I'm going to cook all this in 2 pots. So I'm just going to mix this around with my hands. Looks so nice. Now it's pretty much evenly mixed and distributed, and that's that. I just decided to go ahead and add the rest of the celery. It's not going to hurt anything. It'll taste delicious. So I just got all the nice green stems, and we're going to chop them up real quick and get them in there. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to move on to prepping the meat. So now that I've finished prepping the vegetables, you'll notice I'm going to take my vegetable cutting board and I'm going to put it to the side, and I'm going to bring over a meat cutting board. You need to always keep your meat and your vegetables separate. The first thing that I'm going to prep over here is going to be this. It's called salt pork. It's basically big fat pieces of salted bacon. Okay, I'm just going to cut this open, and I'm going to take out this whole thing here, and I'm going to make it into beautiful little chunks. Nice little chunks like that. Now this salt pork is going to have a very, very specific purpose. We're going to start cooking with the salt pork first. And just like bacon, the fat's going to render out of it. And we're going to add rice to that. And the rice is going to be raw, and it's going to be in there with the salt pork fat, and it's going to sear the outside of that rice. And what that'll do is that'll make sure that the rice gets nice and fluffy, but it stays separate from every other piece of rice that's in there, and it doesn't all just clump together into one big piece of starch. I'm going to take this salt pork, we'll set it to the side. I'm going to bring over the andouille sausage, and with this I'm just going to cut this into rounds like this. We got this andouille sausage from the camp, but if you were just to buy one package of, andouille sausage, small package of andouille sausage at home, then that would probably work just fine. So I got 1, 2, 3, I have 4 links of sausage here. If you don't have andouille sausage and you want to just make it, it's going to have so many other different kinds of meats in there. You want to make it, for people that can't eat pork, you can make it with turkey. You can get, this isn't, turkey or chicken, but you can get turkey or chicken sausage as well, and you can make pulled chicken if you want to, and you can do this whole recipe with that. As long as you use Cajun spices, you'll be alright. But we're going to use one of these links of turkey in there as well, just for a different texture. Alright, so now we've got everything all prepped up, and I'm going to cook this in 2 pots, because I don't want to do it, I don't want to overfill this pot too much, so I can maintain control of what's happening in there. So first I'm going to put half of this salt pork in here. Okay, you can see it sizzling down there. We're just rendering out the fat. You're going to cook it down. This is just like bacon. You could do this with bacon if you needed to. Alright, you can see I've rendered this salt pork down here, and in this one I've actually turned off the heat for a second, because I don't want to burn it. I just want to get the fat out of it. And now I'm going to add some rice to it. Now I'm really just interested in the rice in here. I don't need all those other packets of stuff to come in here. I'll show you what I'm going to do with this next. I get this. These are seasoning packets. It's got tomato and whatever else in there. I'm going to take 1, 2, 3, 4 big handfuls of rice. Put it in there. And on this next one, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, look at that. There's a little extra left in there, a little half there, a little half there. Just sort of even it out, right? This is it's just a 36-ounce box of rice. I'll split that between 2. Alright, now that the rice is in there, I'm going to stir it around. You'll notice that the rice is going to get coated. It's going to turn translucent. And it's going to cook just a little bit. I'm going to do that on both of these. So you see how the rice has got a little bit of white stuff going on in there? That's perfect. So I'm going to take this Jimmy Dean regular, does not have sage seasoning in it. Okay, I'm going to put half of this in there. The other half's going to go in this one when the rice gets done. So don't forget to stir your rice around it. So chop this up and it's going to turn into little bite-sized pieces of deliciousness. Well, now that pork is rendering in there, the pork is already cooking, I'm going to put half of my vegetables that I chopped earlier. There you go. Once this one over here gets ready, I'll put the other half in there. And what these vegetables are going to do is they're going to release some liquids, and they'll stop the cooking process on all the meat that's going on. They'll just start steaming them in there. So this is cruising right along. Everything's looking good. It's smelling good. Things are looking good in here. Time to add some more to it. Add a little more to it. So I took that andouille sausage. I'm going to put half the andouille sausage in there. I'm going to put half in the other one. You can see, I do not. So you can see why doing this in 2 containers has turned out to be a great idea. Because after we add the liquid, it's really going to plump up a little bit more. So, now we've got everything cooking in there, and this andouille sausage is mostly cooked anyway. We're really just heating this up. Next stop, got a little turkey sausage. So half in that one, half in this one. And now, chicken stock. This is 32 ounces of chicken stock. Now I'm going to supplement this a little bit with a little water as well, but you know, you can make it with just straight up water, but it's not going to taste good. I don't know where you come from, but I don't like my food to taste like water. Alright, I'm going to add another 16 ounces of water to this right here, just enough so I can start seeing it floating down there. The purpose of this is to let that rice have something to soak up. Going into each one of them right there. You have to ask how much water to put in there. You know, the answer is just enough where you can see it. That rice is going to soak every bit of that water up. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to add is some Zatarans blackened seasoning. I use this on everything. If it goes fish, it goes great on trout, but it goes really great in here too. So how much am I adding? Probably about maybe 2 tablespoons. Something like that. It's starting to sound like New Orleans down here. Maybe a little bit more. That sounds about right. Alright, so this is just Zatarans blackened seasoning. Alright, so you see here, we just added all that liquid to our rice. So I'm going to do a timer, and we're going to set it for like 18 minutes. Alright, now it'll be ready when this timer goes off. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some pulled pork to it. This is just Walmart, great value, uncured pulled pork, no barbecue sauce. And I'm adding this last because it's already 100% pulled, and I don't want it to come apart any more than it already is. Just add this in there. And just stir that around. Maybe get a little bite of that.
No, I timed it and he does it every day. On average every 30 minutes.
That looks pretty good. Ooh, it smells nice over here. I think these scouts are gonna really enjoy this. There, that looks like jambalaya right there. Woo-wee! Oh yeah! All right, buddy. You ready to eat something delicious?
Yes.
There you go, man. You ready, Winston? You want some more, Jonathan?
I'm good.
All right, careful. Hold your hand close to the weight on that. You want some more?
Oh,
No?
maybe in the room.
Okay, great.
Oh, I'll grab my mess kit.
Yeah, go grab that
or you can
mess
get a
kit.
plate. We got plates.
We got plates. All right. How's it taste?
Good, man. Excellent.